Hello friends, in this session we shall gain knowledge about the process of filling form number 49A, the permanent account number application form, that is PAN application form. We shall learn how to fill form number 49A in case of an individual applicant. Before getting into the detailed learning process, we shall have a look over form number 49A. So here is form number 49A. The form has different fields for providing different information. The form has a field for providing 2 photographs of the applicant, 2 signatures of the applicant, assessing officer code of the applicant, full name of the applicant, the abbreviation of name of the applicant, other name if any by which the applicant was known earlier, the gender of the applicant, the date of birth of the applicant, father's name of the applicant, the address of the applicant, selection of address for communication, telephone number, email ID, status of the applicant, registration number of the applicant. This field is not applicable in case of an individual applicant. Aadhaar number of the applicant, the source of income of the applicant, the details of representative assessee if the assessee is represented by any other person, the documents attached along with the form, and finally the declaration to be made by the applicant. So this was form number 49A. Before getting into the detailed learning process, we shall have a look over the general instructions to be followed while filling the form. The form should be filled up in block letters. Small letters should not be used. It can be observed that block letters should be used. Small letters should not be used. The form should be filled up in black ink. Any color of ink other than black should not be used to fill the form. Each box in the form, wherever applicable, should contain only one character. The character may be an alphabet, a number, or a punctuation sign. Whatever is the character, it should be only in one box. Suppose if the name of the applicant is Raj, then Raj should be written in 3 different boxes, that is R-A-J. Each character should be in 3 different boxes. It cannot be R and A in one box and J in a separate box. So this is correct and this is incorrect. After learning the general instructions, now we shall learn step-by-step process of filling each field of form number 49A. We shall start the learning process with the first field, the field for pasting the photographs. This is the field for pasting the photographs of the applicant. The applicant has to paste 2 photographs on the application form. The photographs should be colored photograph with white background. The size of the photograph should be 3.5 cm by 2.5 cm. It should be noted that the photographs should be pasted on the application form and should not be clipped or stapled. The clarity of the image on the PAN card will depend upon the quality of the photograph provided. So a good quality photograph should be pasted on the application form. One photograph should be pasted on the left hand side and another photograph should be pasted on the right hand side. The next field is the field for providing the signature of the applicant. 2 signatures of the applicant should be provided on the form. If the applicant cannot sign, then left hand thumb impression of the applicant should be affixed on the place provided for signature. If thumb impression is affixed, then it should be attested by a magistrate or a notary public or a gazetted officer under official seal and stamp. In case of applicant who are incapable of signing the form, like minor, lunatic, deceased, etc., the representative assessee should sign the form. While providing the signature, it should be noted that the signature on the left hand side of the form should be provided in such a manner that the part of the signature appears on the box provided for the signature and the part of the signature appears on the photograph pasted on the left hand side. However, in case of the signature on the right hand side, the signature should be provided only in the box provided for the signature. The next field is the field for providing the assessing officer code of the applicant. Over here, the assessing officer code of the applicant is to be provided. The assessing officer code can be obtained from local income tax department's office or from the website of UTI ITSL or from the website of NSDL. The next field is the field for providing the name of the applicant. Over here, the full name of the applicant is to be written. It should be noted that full name of the applicant is to be provided over here. Abbreviation should not be used. It should also be noted that no prefix like doctor, CA, engineer should be written in the name field. Only the first name, the last name, the middle name should be written in the name field. The appropriate prefix depending on the status of the applicant should be selected from the 4 prefix given in the form. The 4 prefix given in the form are Shri, Shrimati, Kumari and Messrs. So, the prefix should be selected from these 4 prefixes and no prefix should be written in the name field. Let's understand the process of filling the name field with the help of an example. Suppose if the name of the applicant is Hitesh Mohanlal Kapoor, then first of all we will select the appropriate prefix, that is Shri. Thereafter we will write down the last name, that is Kapoor will be written over here. Thereafter we will write down the first name, that is Hitesh will be written over here. And finally we will write down the middle name, that is father's name Mohanlal over here. So Hitesh Mohanlal Kapoor should be written as Shri Kapoor Hitesh Mohanlal. First of all, the last name, surname, first name and middle name. The next field is the field for providing the name as desired by the applicant to be printed on the PAN card. Over here, the name as desired by the applicant to be printed on the PAN card is to be written. This could be same as the name provided in the name field or an abbreviation of the name. If an abbreviation is used, then it should be noted that the abbreviation should necessarily contain the last name, surname of the applicant. Let's understand this with the help of an example. Continuing our previous example, the name of our applicant was Hitesh Mohanlal Kapoor. So for Hitesh Mohanlal Kapoor, we will use abbreviation as Hitesh M Kapoor and it will be written as Hitesh M Kapoor. The next field is the field for providing the other name, if any, by which the applicant was known earlier. Over here, the other name by which the applicant was known earlier is to be provided. If the applicant was not known earlier by any other name, then no is to be selected over here and this field is to be left blank. In our case, we assume that our applicant Hitesh Mohanlal Kapoor was not known earlier by any other name. Therefore, we will select no in this and we will leave this field blank. The next field is the field for providing the gender of the applicant. Over here, the gender of the applicant is to be selected. In our case, the applicant is male. Therefore, we will select male in this field. The next field is the field for providing the date of birth of the applicant. The date of birth is to be provided in the date, month and year format, that is DD, YY, MM. Suppose we assume that the date of birth of our applicant, that is the date of birth of Hitesh Mohanlal Kapoor, is 18th August 1988. Then first of all, we will write down the date. Thereafter, we will write down the month, and thereafter we will write down the year. That is 18th August 1988 will be written as 1808-1988. The next field is the field for providing the father's full name of the applicant. Over here, the full name of the father of the applicant should be provided. It should be noted that married women applicant should also provide the father's name and should not provide the husband's name. The father's name should be written in the same manner as discussed in the case of name of applicant. That is, the father's last name, first name and middle name should be provided. Let's understand this with the help of an example. Suppose if the father's name of our applicant, that is, if the father's name of Hitesh Mohanlal Kapoor is Mohanlal Kishanlal Kapoor, then first of all we'll write down the last name, first name and middle name. That is Kapoor Mohanlal Kishanlal. The next field is the field for providing the address of the applicant. Over here, the residential and office address of the applicant is to be provided. It is mandatory to provide the office address if the applicant is having source of income from salary or business profession. Let's understand this with the help of an example. Suppose if the address of the applicant is flat number 001, the name of the premise is Mohan Villa, the name of the road Mahatma Gandhi Road, locality Mohan Nagar, city Bhatinda, state Punjab, zip code 151001 and country India, then first of all we will write down the flat number, that is 001. Thereafter we will write down the name of the premises building, that is Mohan Villa. Thereafter we will write down the name of the road, that is Mahatma Gandhi Road. Thereafter we will write down the name of the area or locality, that is Mohan Nagar. Thereafter the name of the city Bhatinda. Thereafter the name of the state Punjab, the zip code 151001. Thereafter we will write down the name of the country, that is India. So this was the manner of writing the address. If office address is not provided, then the office address field should be left blank. In our case, we consider that our applicant is not having income from salary or business profession. Hence, we will provide residential address and we will leave office address field blank. The next field is the field for selection of address for communication. Over here, the address of communication to be selected by the applicant is to be provided. If the applicant wants to be communicated at residential address, then residential address is to be selected. And if the applicant wants to be communicated as office address, then office address is to be selected. For applicants who have provided only residential address should be selected. In our case, we have provided only residential address, therefore we will select residential address as address for communication. The next field is the field for providing the telephone number and email ID of the applicant. Over here, the applicant has to provide the telephone number and the email ID. Telephone number could be a landline telephone number or a mobile telephone number. The telephone number should contain the country code, the area code, that is the STD code, and the telephone number or the mobile number. In our case, the applicant belongs to India. Therefore, the country code will be +91. The applicant belongs from Bhatinda. The STD code of Bhatinda is 0164. And we assume the telephone number as 1234567, and we assume the email ID of the applicant as hitesh@taxman.com. The next field is the field for selection of the status of the applicant. Over here, the status of the applicant is to be selected. In our case, the applicant is an individual, hence we will select individual as the status of the applicant. The next field is the field for providing the registration number of the applicant. However, this field is to be left blank in case of an individual applicant. In our case, the applicant is an individual, hence we will leave this field blank. The next field is the field for providing the Aadhaar number of the applicant. Over here, the Aadhaar number of the applicant, if the same has been allotted, is to be provided. It should be noted that if Aadhaar number is provided over here, then a copy of the proof of allotment of Aadhaar number is to be enclosed along with the application form. If no Aadhaar number is allotted, then this field is to be left blank. In our case, we assume that the applicant has not been allotted the Aadhaar number, hence we will leave this field blank. The next field is the field for providing the details of representative assessee. If the assessee is represented by a representative assessee, then the details of representative assessee should be provided in this field. Representative assessee is generally applicable in case of applicants like minor, lunatics, deceased, etc. If the applicant is not represented by any representative assessee, then this field should be left blank. If the applicant is represented by a representative assessee, then the details of representative assessee should only be provided in this field. In all the other fields, the details of the applicant should be provided. In our case, we consider that the applicant is not represented by any other person, hence we will leave this field blank. The next field is the field for providing the details of documents enclosed along with the PAN application form. Over here, the detail of document enclosed as proof of identity and enclosed as proof of address is to be written. Documents which could be used as proof of identity and proof of address can be checked out from the instructions to form number 49A. If the applicant is represented by any other person, that is, if the assessee is represented by a representative assessee, then the proof of identity and proof of address of the applicant as well as the proof of identity and proof of address of the representative assessee should also be enclosed with the application form. In our case, we assume that the proof of identity is driving license and the proof of address is rent receipt. Therefore, we will write down driving license as proof of identity and rent receipt as proof of address. The next field is the field for giving the declaration by the applicant. Over here, the applicant has to declare the truth of the information provided in the application form. The applicant has to provide the name, place, date and the signature. So, this was the process of filling form number 49A in case of an individual applicant.